Okay, let me start with a question that's been buzzing in my head. What happens when a president becomes obsessed with avoiding the shadow of a long-dead leader? Specifically, why is Donald Trump so fixated on Herbert Hoover? That's the rabbit hole we're diving into today. Because this isn't just about Trump or Hoover. It's a window into how leaders wrestle with their legacies, and how history's villains often become political bogeymen. Let's unpack this. So here's the setup. Trump, during the G7 summit, drops a line about not wanting to be remembered like Hoover. On the surface, it sounds like a random ego flex. But dig deeper. This is a president terrified of being linked to a leader whose name became shorthand for economic disaster.
Hoover's seen
clinging to laissez-faire policies during the Great Depression, refusing to intervene as the economy collapsed. And Trump, born in 1946, grew up hearing Hoover's name as a cautionary tale in Republican circles. But here's the twist. Trump's comparison isn't just about economics, it's about war. The Iran conflict's impact on inflation, gas prices, and voter sentiment is making him sweat the Hoover parallels. Wait, why does that matter? Let's break it down. First, Trump's not the only Republican haunted by Hoover. George W. Bush, during the 2008 crash, practically screamed, "I won't be Hoover," to Congress. Reagan faced the same fear in the 80s. But here's what's fascinating. Why is Hoover the default villain for Republicans? Because Democrats get labeled Carter during crises. But Hoover's ghost is exclusively GOP property. Historian Tavi Troy nails it. Republicans fear being tied to a president who prioritized ideology over action. And Trump, who's built his brand on winning, sees that legacy as a death sentence. But let's pause. Is this a smart strategy or a distraction? Because obsessing over historical comparisons might make Trump focus on optics over solutions. Now let's get real about the economy. The article quotes Diane Swank, who argues today's inflation isn't 1932. We've got tools Hoover couldn't dream of: central banks, stimulus measures, global coordination. But Trump's fear isn't about economics. It's about perception. Wars are messy. They're expensive. And when gas prices spike, voters blame the president, not geopolitics. So Trump's trying to end the Iran war to escape Hoover's shadow. But here's the irony. Hoover's failure wasn't just inaction, it was denial. He refused to admit the crisis existed. If Trump rushes a deal just to dodge history's judgment, isn't that the same mistake? Prioritizing legacy over reality? What's the bigger pattern here? Leaders are constantly playing chess with history. Obama wanted to be LBJ. Nixon saw himself as a geopolitical genius like Bismarck. But Trump's game is different. He's not trying to emulate greatness. He's trying to avoid infamy. And that's a losing battle.